Today we are going to talk about camera gear that you need in your arsenal as a content creator, because I've been buying a lot of different things that I felt that I needed, but that I didn't actually need to be able to create the content that I wanted to create to companies and YouTube and different kind of things. And when you're starting out as a freelancer or as a content creator, it's not easy knowing where to put your money because everything is so damn expensive. So I thought we should talk about the most used things that I got in my arsenal right now, and I have paid with my own money for every single piece of equipment that we're going to talk about. So yeah. The first thing is going to be a camera, which is kind of obvious. I mean, like, oh, come on, Peter, you need a camera to produce content. The reason that I bring this up is because I don't want you to like buy a camera that you're not satisfied with. I'm not going to recommend a Sony camera or a Canon camera, but what I want you to think about when you're buying your first camera, especially when it comes to producing content, creating videos, and those kind of things, if you want to work as a freelancer, there's two things that I've used a whole lot when I've been working as a content creator. And one is the ability to shoot 4K footage with your camera, because some companies will have that as a demand to have the highest possible resolution. And another thing that is great with 4K is that you can crop in without losing any resolution if you deliver the content in full HD. And the second thing that I think is really essential in a camera is the ability to have 100 or 120 frames per second. It's not something that you need to have, but it's something that will definitely make you more attractive to clients, to companies, because it's so good to have the ability to slow things down and like make a scene longer when you're shooting an event or when you are like shooting a wedding or anything like that. I mean, I probably would manage to not have that in a camera, but it's something that makes everything so much easier. And it's definitely something that you can rely on when you're working with companies, and also something that you can offer when you are contacting companies as well, because then you can say, hey, you know what? I can shoot this in slow-mo for you because my camera can shoot in 100 or 120 frames per second. So that's no issue. The second piece of equipment that I think is a must-have in your camera bag is definitely going to be a like zoom lens with a 2.8 aperture. I am using the Tamron 20-75, and this has been a workhorse like ever since I bought it. I think it was like in June last year. I have been using this for all my events shoots that I've been shooting. I've been shooting a commercial with this. I've been shooting a lot of my YouTube videos with this. I've been shooting a lot of product B-rolls, bunch of different things that you can use it for. And you can also take some really good photos. And the cool thing with this lens especially is that it costs like 850 bucks. So it's super cheap for the quality that you get. If you're shooting on an APS-C camera, I highly recommend you to have somewhere between the range of 16 to 55, because most of the time you can get away with having a 28mm or 24mm focal length, no matter what kind of video it is that you're shooting or what kind of photos it is that you want to take. But yeah, you can use it for those like super wide landscape shots. It's gonna be like, oh, super hard. But if I don't know which lens to bring on a shoot, this is the one that I bring, like every single time. A gimbal. This is something that I highly recommend you to invest in if you are shooting weddings, if you're shooting events, or if you're shooting any kind of professional video where you want to have the option to get really smooth 4K footage in 25 frames per second, or really like dynamic motions in your shots or anything like that, because having a gimbal will make you look way more professional. And it's also sadly one of those things that like companies, when they see you coming with this and a camera, they're gonna be like, oh, this dude knows what's up, right? But aside from that, it's actually a really good tool that I've been using ever since I bought it. And the reason that I went for the Ronin S is because I wanted to have a gimbal that is really capable of carrying those heavy payloads and that works flawlessly, because like DJI's products is really good. But I've also been sent the Zhiyun Weebill S, and I have used this for a commercial shoot so far, and I gotta say, the size of this bad boy, I mean, like, look at this. This makes me want to bring this along on a bunch more shoots than this, and it actually can carry the A7 III with a cage and a zoom lens without any issues on the motors. And I'm probably gonna do a video about this because I do think it's a good gimbal. There is a couple of things that I don't like about it though. So, but again, I highly recommend you to like pay a little bit extra to get that premium gimbal instead of like paying a little bit less and get a really cheap gimbal that you won't be satisfied with. And the reason that I'm recommending a gimbal and not a drone is because I think that having a gimbal will be way more useful for you than having a drone, because having a drone is cool, but having a gimbal is actually useful. Especially if you're going to be a freelancer and working with real companies and delivering high quality videos. Next up is going to be to have a good tripod. This is not a good tripod, but it was a tripod and I want to show you what I was talking about. But this tripod is something that I've been using so much in my videos, and I'm using this right now to shoot this video as well. It is the Manfrotto 190, and I'm really satisfied with this because I've been using this to shoot all of my behind the scenes videos, behind the scenes b-rolls, and you name it. It's always coming with me on location when I'm shooting any kind of video because it's really tall, so I can have the camera like up here at my eyes without any issues, and is really steady as well. And when you buy the combined kit, you also get a video head that is kind of fluid, so you can get those really smooth pans and tilts with it. So that is really cool. One of the most important things of camera gear that I think you should have in your arsenal is definitely going to be a good microphone, like something that can record really good audio. Right now I'm using the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus, and I am using this microphone for all my YouTube videos. And there's been a lot of you asking which kind of microphone that I use, how my audio setup looks here in the office, but like the truth is that I just mount the microphone onto my camera and then plug it straight in, and then basically from there I just record the video and the audio together and then do some tweaks in the Final Cut Pro, and then I have the result that you're listening to right now. What I really like about the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus is that it turns on and off with the camera. So that means that you don't have to turn it off, or like when you're putting it in your camera bag, you forgot to turn it off. So the day after you're gonna record and you forgot to charge it because it died. And when it comes to me, I'm one of those guys that literally can forget to charge the batteries and forget to put in some memory cards before I do a shoot, and then get to location and I'm like, hello. And that's basically the reason that I went for the Rode VideoMic Pro Plus, because I wanted to have a microphone that removes all of those unnecessary things. So it turns on and off with the camera. You don't have to think about anything at all. The last couple of things is going to be variable ND filters, because having variable ND filters is basically like having sunglasses for your camera, and it allows you to control the exposure without having to do any settings on the camera. You just turn like the front element of the filter, and then it gets darker and then it gets brighter. So when you're running gunning, or when it's cloudy outside or something like that, when you go from inside to outside, then you can just twist and turn this without having to do any like big maneuvers into the camera. And the ND filters that I use is the JJC ND filters, because they are kind of cheap and you get quite a good result for what you pay. And I've been having these ND filters now for like well over a year, and I think I literally think you can see how scratchy it is. I don't know, but like it is. I basically put it in my pocket with all my keys and everything like that, and then I'm like, oh, need the ND filter, and then I'm like, here we go, let's go, and then you're done. And then when you're done, screw it off, put it back in your pockets. So the things that I would recommend you to invest in first is definitely going to be the camera, and then of course the lens, so that you can piece them together, right? And then I would go for the microphone, because having camera with a good microphone is going to give you so many opportunities to like get those really good interviews or stuff like that. And after that, I would highly recommend you to go for a really good tripod, because having a good tripod to put your camera on is so good. And after that, when you can afford it and when you feel like you're comfortable with the gear that you have, but you want to have something else that can elevate your videos to the next level, that is when I highly recommend you to buy a gimbal, maybe whatever kind of brand that you're feeling most comfortable with, because this will give you some really good footage if you know how to use it. And if you're wondering how to use it, I got a video about that right here. Thanks so much for watching. Really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please do give it a thumbs up because it is highly appreciated, so thanks so much for that. And nej, jag tror vi rundar av där, va? Peter from Sweden out. Yeah, works. Hey, you're still here. Didn't see you. Thought you left. So, okay, I'm gonna say thank you first of all for watching the videos all the way till the end. And I'm also gonna give you a bonus for being here for so long. So, how about I show you my very first acting gig? Be prepared because this is kind of weird. So, here you go. Hope you enjoy.
Introducing das muskulöse und überdandy 12 Lennings, das World-Class Body Erector und Beef Ventriloquist, Multi-Muscle. Pump it, ja pump it, awesome dude. Oh, was sind das? Ja, Offshore, das Kitsch Pro Marinade Injector. Eine Wunderspritze auf Stainless Stahl mit Multi-Attachment, 2 Needles. Burleskes Kassler überholt. Tutti und Frutti Marinade. Retrofleisch. Thunderballs. Hurl your eyes und das Beige Megaman. Awesome. Wursterbaum. Veggie Alarm. Monster Grill. Nominating
Chicken.
Champion. Schönes Gobble. Guck das Mother. Ja. Flavors. Sensation. Twerk deren Nippelhosen.
Wurstmarionette.
Partytrick. Bei das Kitsch Pro Marinade Injector. Only aus coolstuff.com. Cool stuff.
That is